Morning. Some sleep. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. Can I have someone write the objective for the day on the board? Who would like to do that for me? Oh, Molly. Gosh, you're such a doll. The students will be able to illustrate how social, cultural, technological, geographic, how social, cultural, technological, geographic, and political factors influence consumer buying, behavior in different cultures. In a classroom with 75% accuracy. All right. So can everyone read that for me aloud what our objective is for the day?
Students will be able to illustrate
Social, cultural, technological,
geographic and political factors that influence consumer buying behavior in different cultures. Classroom, 75% accuracy.
All right, now read it like you want to be here then. You sound asleep.
I am.
Wake up. Go ahead. Let's try this third period. Gosh.
Are we doing all of today?
This is our objective for the next 3 days. But I just want us all to know the direction we're going in for the next few days. So we all are not lost. So we kind of have some foresight on where we want to go, how we're going to get there, and when we're going to get there. So I guess I should have up there the next 3 days. We're going to try to cover a number of those things. If it takes us longer than 3 days, it takes us longer than 3 days. If it takes us less than 3 days, we'll go with it, okay? So can we read it again with some enthusiasm, like we're excited to be here?
Students will be able to illustrate how
social, cultural, technological, geographic, and political factors influence consumer buying behavior in different cultures in the classroom. 75% accuracy.
Thank you. Now everyone please pull out a piece of paper and pen. And when you are ready, put your thumbs up in the air.
Do we only need a 75% to pass on this unit?
The 75% is for my purposes. That is just something that we require as a state to have that some type of accuracy that we want to shoot for. That's not where we want you to shoot for. I want you to shoot for 100%, but at minimum, I want you to at least know 75% so that when we move on to the next lesson, that we don't have much error. Okay? Thumbs up. Everyone's ready? Everyone has their piece of paper up? So what we're going to do, we're going to do a pre-assessment. So there are 4 questions on the board I want you to answer. So I'm going to give you about 7 minutes to answer those questions. Okay? My apologies, Ryan G, for writing that behind you. 3 more minutes. Trainings. You can go 2 more minutes. Finish.
Good as it's gonna get.
Finish, teacher.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah.
All right. So, for the first question, what do you have down for the first question, Ryan S?
I said what to produce, how much to produce, and where to produce. That's what I said for the 3 basic questions.
Okay. Ryan G, what do you have for the second question?
I have people or things that you have at your disposal that help you gain value.
Okay. Okay. What do you have for the third question?
Traditional economic systems, command, and market.
Okay. All right. And then the final question, what do you have, Molly?
The study of consumers' needs and wants and how this affects the market.
Study the consumer needs and wants and how it affects the market. All right. So this is what we're going to do today. I want all of you to be quiet, and I'm only teaching Becky today. Okay? Don't play with your phones. You're not allowed to do anything but just sit here. Don't listen to what me and Becky are talking about. I'm just teaching Becky today, okay? So Becky, I'm teaching you about economics today. Ryan, why are you looking at me? No, this is not for you. Becky, we're talking about economics today, okay? The definition of economics is, what did you put down?
Study of business-related items.
The study of business-related items. I have down, economics is the study of production and distribution of goods and services. It's the study of human effort in satisfying unlimited wants with limited resources. Okay? You got it? How do you guys feel about me not teaching you guys today?
It's not fair.
It's not fair?
No.
Right. It's not fair. What else? How did you feel, Ryan? That's when I told you to turn around and you don't look at us.
You just check out.
That's what you thought? What did you think, Ryan G?
Not fair also.
God, you just
I
chilling?
felt all sad.
You felt all sad. So the reason I did that, because the definition from our book that we all have for that is economics is the study of the production and distribution of goods and service. And it is the study of human effort to satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. So I did that to show, okay, maybe if in economics, or say for example, I took all my goods and gave it to one person, and everybody else wanted what I had, how would that work? How would that work out? What would our economy have? How do you think, what would happen? We wouldn't have enough goods to go around, right? Right? So it's important that we learn about economics, because we have to understand that everything that we want, or everything that everyone wants, is not obtainable. We have to be able to spread our resources around. Ryan, what are resources? You didn't want to go. Forgot it was studio at that moment. What are resources?
I have people or things that help you gain value, or
Okay.
things that give you value.
I was looking for more of maybe, not that you were wrong, but I was looking for just 3 simple words to make that definition just down to the basics. Ryan G, do you know what those 3 basic words could be? I mean, S. S. It's just 3 words. I like to do it so I can remember it. LLC. Land being one of them.
Labor. Cost.
Capital. There we go. So if we put all of that into one person's hands and nothing for no one else, our economy would be messed up, right? We wouldn't have enough economic goods or enough resources for everyone to go around. This is why those 3 basic questions that we have are important. What to produce, how to produce it, and for whom to produce it. If we can answer those 3 questions, will we be in a perfect economy, DJ? If we can answer them perfectly.
Oh, if you could.
In a perfect world, we can answer those perfectly without.
It would be a perfect world.
It would be a perfect world. Why do you think it would be a perfect world?
Well, if you know all those 3 things, then you can make sure that consumers have what they need within the resources that they
At
have.
all times, right? At all times, we will have those answers, no matter what issue or whatever we run into. So if we were business owners, we'd be able to answer those questions just like that, right? Well, after we look at those very important questions and we understand how those questions can be the basis of an economy, there are 3 types of major economy systems. What are those 3 types? I mean, Molly? No, Mindy. I'll talk sorry, Molly.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you talking about those 3?
Mm-hmm.
The traditional, command, and mixed.
You were right with 2.
Well, then I don't know.
What do you think? It's not mixed, but mixed is pretty much the economic system that the majority of people use. The 3 basic ones are traditional, market, and command. Mixed, and you just jumped right ahead of me. Gosh, give me a minute. We have those 3 basic ones, but mixed is just pretty much a combination, because generally no system, no country just runs solely off one of these. So generally we all end up using some type of method from each of these. Okay, you following me? You got it? Taking notes, correcting your test. I'm giving you 5 points for the last one. So then we're going to do just a FYI, so you make sure you got this in the back of your head and you're remembering these. We're going to do a post test at the end of class today as your exit slip. And then we'll actually take those for check those for correctness, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to divide up into groups of 2s. You're going to pick your own groups. And we're going to look at each three, one of the 3 in each group on the traditional, market, and command economy. Today is just an overview, so later on in the week, we're going to look in depth at each one of these, okay? All right, so you want to divide up into groups, or are you already in your groups? They're good? Scott, who you want? You got a partner?
Somewhere.
All right. The Ryans. So Ryans on this board. Traditional. Scott and Mindy on this board. Market. And Molly and Becky on that board. Command. Okay? So then we're going to kind of go through them and kind of look at the definitions of those, and you can try to figure out some examples of each one, okay? I'll give you about 7 minutes, because we're not going to go too in depth today. We're just going to give us a good overview so we can kind of know the direction of where we're going for the next few weeks.
You want to try it for definition?
Command, just like a definition of command, and then maybe like an example. And I'll be around to help you guys, because I have the definition from the book that we all have at home.
Let me just take this whole thing up there.
I was just trying to think of an example.
Traditional economy.
Yeah.
Traditional economy? So you know the traditional economy is pretty much where everything is based on people's religious views and cultural practices.
Oh, we do it country, or like, I know some places like England has to do that.
That's what I was trying to think of, like specific stuff.
So, here's one. Traditional economy is food, tea plantations in South India. Popularly conceived as primitive or undeveloped.
Yeah, so generally those economies, and so then we'll see you guys can go over this with the class when you teach them it. Traditionally those economies are living like agricultural villages, and a lot of times they still own their own land. They also produce their own shelter and clothing also. So there's something to think about. And then just the way they perform and live is different from other economies. Okay? You guys got it? We're just solely based on the people with no government interaction. So you want like a nation? Like for example, later in Africa.
What was that? It was India and India with Tibet, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? You saw the Canada one? I saw that.
Or we should maybe put it there that no person may independently decide to open or run a kind of business. Like, so we really don't have many entrepreneurs. Sorry, God, I'm sorry. So we really don't have any small business owners or entrepreneurs there. minutes, and then once we're all comfortable, we'll go over each one. Okay? All right. So Ryan's, talk to me about traditional. You want to stand up and go to your board and be Vanna White and trying to show us what's going on?
All right. Well, for traditional, the economy is based off of the culture and customs. So religion has a lot to do with it. And for example, we looked up and saw India. They still create tea plants because of that is what they value that in their culture.
Yeah, so they also, like you said, based off the culture and custom. So pretty much they practice whatever their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, whatever they practice, that's the same ideas that they're going to continue to have. It's almost, that's one of the really things when they say tradition, I really see that where they just pass everything along down to their shelter, their clothing, the things that they wear. It's really never changed. As I said, if you can look at the United States, where our clothing changes, God, by the weekly. By the week, by the day, by the hour sometimes, what we like, what we dislike. I mean, fashion is always changing, just for an example. Molly and Becky.
So we had Command Economy, and this is a government-controlled economy. The government regulates prices and wages, and they might even determine what type of work you do, like as an individual. And in this economy, no person can independently open and run a business, so there's no entrepreneurship or anything like that. An example is socialism and communism, specifically the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm. How would you feel living in an economy where you had no decision on what your life is going to be like, what you're going to be able to do, if even though you really want to be a teacher, Molly, you're not. You're going to go and work at a company and be a secretary. How would you feel?
I'd be sad about it.
You'll be sad?
Yeah.
Well, what if you're used to it? You don't know anything different.
Good point. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be?
I had a question actually about traditional because we were looking through it and it was saying it's like viewed as primitive.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it fits the culture though? I think it's like an outsider's view of what it is, but what if the people inside the culture?
And that's the thing a lot of times about some of the economic systems. By us being where we are, we have to learn about all these different cultures and economic systems so we can learn to adapt to those. You know what I mean? And so to us, it may seem so different and unrealistic. And it's just that we have to understand. That's one thing in our class we talked about illustrating like understanding and culture and making sure we understand because that is normal to them. Just like when I asked Molly over here, what if you didn't know anything different? You know what I mean? And a lot of times they look at us and we say third world countries. And this is my own personal view. I don't know if I really agree with it because that may not be third world to them. That's everyday life to them. You know? Anything else? Good. So back over here to Molly. So you said you would be sad, you would, what else?
I think I feel like I didn't have any freedom.
Any freedom?
Well, maybe if I lived there my whole life, I would just expect it, but that's my personal.
Yeah. And so, Mindy and Scott, talk to me about the market economy.
In the market economy, decisions are based on supply and demand, and prices are determined in a free price system.
And your example?
Our example was the USA, for the most part. because supply and demand are basically controlled by the private party instead of by the government.
Yeah. I can see where you said that, and I can see where we're most like market economy, but I would consider the United States being a mixed economy just because the market economy, the nation is just solely based off buyers and sellers. Solely. And so, and with no government involvement. So if someone says that the price of milk is $300, would you buy it? And you have brittle bones.
No.
Your bones are brittle.
I'd eat coconuts.
And coconuts are $300 too.
Well, then I'd move.
You would move. Why?
Because the prices are too high.
So what does that mean? So you just can't move like that. You have a family.
Take them with me.
But
Or leave them behind.
you can't leave your family behind.